Samsung Galaxy S9 charging port replacement. So we have this Galaxy S4 that when we connect it to the charger, it's not charging. Doesn't show it's charging, and we're gonna replace the charging port. Okay, so what is the first thing we have to do? To open the phone, we're gonna have to apply heat on the edges. So I'm going to apply heat on the edges. Actually, I can start applying heat only in one corner. So I'm gonna start applying heat on one corner first. Just this one corner. That corner is the one I'm going to use to enter my film and my opening tool. So I'm gonna use my opening tool to create a gap plus alcohol, and then from then I'm gonna go around and remove the back cover. So what do I have to do? I go with my opening tool and some alcohol, and I create a little tiny gap. This is how it looks. Now I'm gonna apply some more heat. This is how it looks. Now we take our film. Okay, so now I replace my opening tool with my plastic film, and I'm just gonna start working myself inside. I apply some alcohol and I go in. So now I can apply heat. There you go. I apply some more heat. And now I go in. There is a wireless charger right here, so I don't wanna take my film all the way in. I can damage the cable, so it's just the corner. I apply some more alcohol and I keep moving. Every time I feel pressure, I will stop. I don't want to crack the back glass. Just working my way around. I put some more alcohol. In and out, in and out, in and out. It's just like if I'm cutting the adhesive. Okay, let me put some more glue, some more heat. I put some more alcohol. Okay, some more alcohol right here. And again, my heat gun. And put some more alcohol. Okay, more alcohol. Now heat gun again. I keep going, almost there. Okay, I keep working my way around it. And now, more heat. I don't apply heat to the camera. More alcohol. So I already went all the way around. I'm just checking for glue, so I can feel the glue when I go in. Let me go again. I'll put some alcohol. There you go. Okay, so this should be ready. Sometimes we have to go around twice. So let me pull it away and keep working my way inside. I'm gonna switch sides. Here you go. So the phone is almost open. I am going to take my opening tool. I have it ready. Let me keep going. Okay, let me see. I can still see some glue right there. Do you guys see it? So I'm gonna go. Here we go. Do you see it? So now let me go to the other side. So if you see some glue right here. And now I'm checking underneath where is the glue. On this side there is more glue. Now I'm just gonna apply some more heat. Okay, so if I check on this side, it's hard to tell, but there is glue right there. Okay, so I lift it up. Careful, right now when you lift it up, you need to be very careful. You don't want to rip the cable that is connected from the back cover to the motherboard. That's the one that controls the fingerprint recognition. So I'm going to get my opening tool, and I see the cable right there, and I'm just going to disconnect it. So here we go, we disconnected that cable from this connector. There's all the glue. Okay, so we can clean this later at the end. Now we have to replace the charging port. So to replace the charging port, we have to remove all the screws. So there comes the first one. It's just a Phillips. And I place them in order on my screw holder, even though for this device it does not matter since they're all the same size. So I'm removing all of my screws with my Phillips. This is the wireless charger that I was telling you. About. You can see that I didn't damage any cables, I didn't damage the camera. We're almost done. There goes another screw. Another one. Okay, so there is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 screws that you have to remove from the back of the phone. Now I'm gonna take my opening tool and I'm going to go underneath the wireless charger, and I'm going to lift this plastic up from the edges. Here you go. There is one piece, wireless charger and antennas. And the first thing I have to do is disconnect the battery. Here you go, I disconnected the battery. If you guys want to see it under the microscope, this is how it looks. So I go underneath with my opening tool and disconnect the battery. Okay, so now let me remove the speaker. So I just lift it up. That's it. So what do we have to do to remove the motherboard? We have to remove the motherboard in order for us to be able to replace the charging port. So we have to disconnect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 connections and remove 2 screws on the motherboard. Those screws are different. So I'm gonna start with the 2 screws on the motherboard. Let me show you. There is one right next to the vibrator, that's the vibrator, and there is another one on the by the volume up and down. So one right here and one right here. So let me remove the one by the volume button. This is the volume down button, so I'll place it here. And now one by the vibrator. So let me place those 2 right here. Those are the ones that are inside the motherboard, so that I remember the top ones. Okay, so there is the other one, even though they're all the same size, so it doesn't matter. Here you go. Now I was saying that they're all the same size, but now that I noticed the one for the volume button, the one next to the volume button, this one is a smaller one, so I'm going to put it on this side. Okay, so now let's disconnect. I'm gonna start with my SIM card reader, my camera, left camera. Those cameras came out, so let's just put them on the side, my front cameras. And now my LCD connector, and I have an antenna that it was already disconnected, but I'm gonna disconnect the other one. Let me show you how to disconnect the antennas so that you don't damage the motherboard. So what I do is I just go underneath, side to side, and that's it. And if I have to disconnect the LCD, I just have to be very careful with those circuits. So I'm just gonna do it from this corner. Oop, just lift it up. Okay. Now we have to remove the SIM card, which is right here. Okay, so I'm going to remove my SIM card, my SIM tray. I'm going to place it here. Okay, so now we're going to lift the motherboard gently. I start from this side, just lift it up, move this cable away, and I lift it up. Here you go. Oh, I missed one connection, this one. So let me go under the microscope. There is another antenna, so I need to disconnect that one as well. So it was this one, the one that I just disconnected. So now I lift or remove the motherboard. The connection for the charging port is underneath the motherboard, so it's gonna be on this side. So all I have to do is go with my opening tool and disconnect it. So this is my charging port. Okay, I'm gonna put the motherboard on the side, and now I'm going to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws from the bottom with my Phillips. If we check under the microscope, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me begin. 1, are these different size? Yes, just a little tiny difference. So I'm just gonna put them right here on the bottom and move my other screws to the top. Here you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we are going to remove the the audio jack. So to remove the audio jack, we're just going to disconnect it from here. So we disconnect it. Now it's disconnected. And to take out the audio jack, I'm just gonna use my flat headed, and I'm just going to go from the outside in and pull it out. It comes out. I'm going to place my audio jack right here. Now it's time to remove the charging port. I am going to take my alcohol dispenser, get some alcohol, and I'm gonna go under on the sides first to remove that antenna. Here you go. Doing number 1. So this is what I'm doing. I went from here and I removed the adhesive with alcohol. Okay, now I'm gonna go underneath and remove the charging port and the antennas, everything at once. So this is the part we have to replace. So now we have our new charging port, which is this one. Make sure it's for the right phone, Galaxy S9 PEEP, S9 Plus. And we are just going to install it. It's the same process as the other one, the same thing as how we removed it. We are going to install it. It fits right in. Now we're gonna put our audio jack. And now that we have all the items, the audio jack and the charging port, the next thing is I'm gonna put all of the little screws from the motherboard. So there was one, well, I think this is the one for the audio jack. So if I'm not sure, if I don't remember, this is what I do. I put this on. So is there a screw here? No, it's gonna be here. Two for the charging port, another one, okay, and the last one on the left. Okay, so now we take we need to put the antennas back. So this is why I left them there, so that I can have the same organization. So what I do is I take my antennas and I take the blue one. So the white one goes first, but it goes underneath the blue one. We just have to remember that. So the white one goes underneath. So let me take the blue one out, and now I'm gonna take the white one. So how do you take it out? Same thing, you just go on the back of the antenna and lift it up with your tweezers. Then you just take it out, pull it out. Here you go. So it's out already. So now I have to connect it and put it on those holders. So how do you connect it? If we go under the microscope, the first thing you do is align it and then connect it with your tweezers. You just push down. Here you go. Now go to the next one. Now go to the next one. Now there is a canal right there. We're going to put our antenna in the canal. So now let's do the blue one. So for the blue one, it is the same process. So we connect the blue one and then we put it in the canal, and then we go inside. Okay, Now that everything is in its I put everything in order, now the charging port is ready. We are going to connect it to the motherboard. So here's the motherboard, there is the connection. So I put antennas to the side and I get the connector for the charging port, and I'm going to connect it. It was connected right here on the bottom. So I connected. Let me see if you guys can see it. And it clicks. Here you go, you can hear the click. So this is how it goes. It's connected through the back. Let me see if we can see anything under the microscope. And no, we're not able to see it. So this is where you connect it, through the back side. It goes connected right here. Okay, so now we're going to organize our antennas and the LCD connector. So I'm gonna take my antennas and organize them, and I'm going to move my connector to the side, and then I'm going to bring my battery to the outside, the cable, and the one for the proximity sensor. And I'm going to make sure my motherboard is all the way in. So right here, if you noticed, I made a mistake. My antenna is not on the right place, so I'm going to take it out slowly, gently. And I'm going to bring it out. Here you go. Now my motherboard is nice and flat. Nice and flat. So now I'm gonna start connecting, but before I do that, I am going to install the two screws on the motherboard, one here and one here. We know that the small one on the left side, or the smaller one, because they're all big, goes on this side, and the bigger one goes on the other side. That's just gonna help me keep the motherboard flat. Okay, so now we're gonna install the cameras. There goes one. Now we go to the next one. It just clicks in. Now we connect the flex cable for the SIM tray or for the light sensor. Now we connect the LCD. Let me do the LCD under the camera, under the microscope, so you guys can see it. So I just click on it. Okay, now we're going to connect the antennas. So one antenna, 2 and 3. So I have my phone, I align it, maybe with my opening tool I align the antenna and click. Click. Okay, so now I'm gonna do number 2, which is the blue one. Align it and so I'm going to align it and click. Here you go. Now align it. I'm going to align it first, so I make sure it's aligned, and then I click on it. I never force anything. If I force it, I'm gonna damage the connector. Okay, now we are going to connect our battery. We're gonna check that the phone is charging. So now we're going to connect our battery. and we're going to make sure that the phone is charging. Here you go. Now it's charging. Okay, so now I'm going to put my speaker. So now I'm going to put my plate on the top. From the top, I start from the top to the bottom. And I'm going to put my speaker. Something's wrong on this side, let me see. Okay, so I just press on it. Okay, now I'm going to take my Phillips and I'm going to put the other screws. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so I have all my antennas connected. Now I have to install the back glass. For the back glass, I am going to remove the old glue from the edges, and I'm just going to apply some heat to the back. For this last part, I'm gonna remove my gloves. I don't like to work gloves and adhesive. It's really hard to work with my gloves on, so I'm going to take them off. And I'm going to remove the tape, the adhesive from the edges. So I'm just trying to remove the adhesive. Maybe I can apply some adhesive on this side just to lift it up. So I pull out the tape. Now I remove the adhesive. I just pull it out. Here you go. The adhesive from the edges, I just pull it out. Just the one from the edges. Okay, so now I can install my new adhesive. Let me just clean the edges of the frame. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just okay. So now I have to install my pre-cut adhesive on the frame. I take my pre-cut adhesive and I'm just going to add it to the edges of the screen of the back glass. Here you go. Now I remove it. Film. Okay, and now I remove the film that is covering the pre-cut adhesive. Here you go. And now this is just something that I always do, or that we always do. We just add a little bit of P7000, some droplets, so we can create a better connection, joint. So here you go, B7000. Some droplets. This is gonna make the glue stronger, the adhesive. Okay, now for the last step we are going to connect the here's the connector for the fingerprint recognition. This is the one, so I'm going to put my screen to the side and I'm going to connect that first. So maybe I can do it on this side. Let me see. So I have to put my finger in there and I have to connect it. Here we go. So I just connected it with my finger. It is connected. It's hard to tell. Let me see. Let me see if I can see it under the microscope. It's right there. So I connected it with my finger. Careful not to rip the cable. Okay, so now we go from top to bottom and we glue the back cover. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it with a cleaning cloth and alcohol, just to make it look better, to make it look nice. Remove all the residue from the glue, and then we put our SIM tray. In the phone, and then we just let the phone charge. Now the phone is charging, as you can see. I can even power on the device. Right now it is charging. Oh, it's at 6%. And I'm just going to show you that it's charging, and this video will be over. So right here you can see it charging. You can see it is charging, and we are done with this repair. Thank you for watching our videos. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. Please visit www.cellphonerepairacademy.com.